What's good? I'm your guide Q. We're doing some neckbeard stories. My band Dear Marianne has an EP out called If I Wanted. More details at the end. Let's get into the stories. I'm a former neckbeard. Here's my cringe stories. I came across the neckbeard stereotype and realized that I used to actually be one. I worked on myself and tried to improve a lot. Still, I did a lot of cringe. So here's a few of those stories. Before we start, to give you the idea of the kind of person I was: really underweight, neat, which means not educating, not employed or training, chronically depressed, showered twice a month. Like, a lot of these hygienes are pretty bad on this subreddit, but twice a month, that's once every 15 fucking days. Constant anime watching, rarely brushed teeth, hated women, played video games 16 hours daily. 16 hours daily is insane. I play a lot of video games, but that's like you sleep and you play video games and there's nothing else in there. Played Yu-Gi-Oh! / Magic the Gathering. In high school, I was obsessed with Naruto. I did the ninja run from class to class and pretended I could do the genjutsu stuff. I didn't have many friends either. I thought in my head it was because I was intimidating and scary, which is what I was going for, an edgy cringe lord. Anyway, my only friend at the time, who was also a neckbeard, would play fight with me at lunch. We were 15, 16, mind you, and we were pretending to be ninjas. We were jumping around and doing the hand movements and all that in front of everyone in the cafeteria. I don't know if your schools had this, but our school had a salad bar that had wheels. It would have had all the condiments and other things for school lunches. Well, we accidentally tipped it over and fell in it. So I guess they fell in all the stuff that fell on the ground, because I don't know, like, the salad bar thing, they usually have like a roof to it, kind of, so I don't know how you would fall, like, into, I don't fucking know. Anyway, you can imagine how embarrassing that was. In front of the student body, pretending to be ninjas with our Leaf Village headbands and now covered in ranch dressing. We ended up getting in-school suspension for that. If you've never been in the International Space Station, they make you sit in a desk for the entire day. They gather all of your schoolwork from all classes, and that's all you do throughout the day. They bring lunches to the ISS room, so you aren't allowed to leave the room at all, except to use the restroom, which a teacher or security has to escort you to. I was sat next to this girl who, looking back now, I realized I must have creeped the poor girl out because she requested to be moved to a different desk to avoid me. I didn't say a word to her or anything, so I do wonder what it was. It may have been the 13-day showerless stench that you were developing. Like, honestly, no offense to you, but that will make people not want to be in your general vicinity. Anyway, here's a little story. They say here's a little story like there's more to it, but this is the end of the stories. If you want any more, I'd be happy to share more of my cringe. You know, reading this, it does make me cringe. Like, obviously doing that sort of embarrassing stuff in front of everybody in the lunchroom is kind of cringe, but like, there are so much worse things that you can be in school. Like, there are people that like bully people to after being institutionalized and stuff like that. Like, just being cringe, doing some ninja moves, knocking some stuff over, like, it's not that big of a deal. Probably the most offensive thing you did to anybody was just stink up a room or whatever. So definitely way worse ways that you can spend your high school years. So yeah, it's good that you reflect on this and don't want to be this way anymore, but like, at least you didn't do too much harm. Oh no, everything was fine until we got to his nest. So I went on a date with this guy called Alex, and he wasn't exactly a typical neckbeard from the outside. He was slim, well-groomed, and actually kind of handsome. And the date was actually going well, until we went to his place. He said he was living with a flatmate. Fair enough, I wasn't expecting the highest degree of cleanliness from that. The entrance was already quite messy, but I let it slide and followed him into his room. Now, I'm by no means particular and cleanly. In fact, my room can be quite a mess too, but if I expect to bring someone over, I make sure to tidy things up. There was trash and all kinds of stuff laying around everywhere and on every surface. The only tidy spot in the whole room was his bed, and a portion of the floor, and on the walls there were badly black and white printed pictures of anime characters everywhere. Honestly, the bed being clean, huge step up from some of the neckbeard nests we've looked at, but continuing on, he of course put on an anime, and I tried to convince myself that it wasn't all bad because he was charming and funny back at the bar when we had a drink. I went to the bathroom and that shit was messy too. All kinds of stuff and products and dust collecting in any free spot, and I had my phone still in my back pocket, so in order to not dump it in the toilet or on the floor, I had to put it somewhere before pulling down my pants as much as I was grossed out. So I placed it on the counter, but due to the mess, it kinda didn't catch my eye that it was still laying there when I was done, since stuff was laying around everywhere anyway. So I left later only to realize on the city train that I didn't have my phone. This is why I always do like the pocket pat down method. Like I never lose my phone, I don't lose my keys, I don't lose my wallet, because I'm always patting down all of my pockets no matter where I am to make sure it's all on me. Make sure you do this, especially if you're in a stranger's house, because in a case like this, your phone is literally your lifeline. And anyway, continuing. The city he lived in was an hour from home and had the second highest crime rate in my country, so I was low-key terrified running around being hit up by sketchy dudes left and right in the dark looking for his apartment. I didn't remember an address, so it's a miracle I even found his place. When I told him I forgot my phone and I just wanted to get it, I think he thought I was making an excuse to come back, so he really went for that kiss. He pushed me against the wall and kissed me hard. Like, the dude bit me like he was Edward Cullen or something. My lips hurt and I was super grossed out, so I told him I just needed to catch my train, took my phone, and fled. That is extremely unfortunate. I hate to hear it. I honestly don't even know what to say. It sounds like the mess. I don't even know. Is this even a neckbeard, or is this just like a messy, creepy ass dude? Like, I don't know. We kind of take what we can get with these neckbeard stories. Obviously, not everybody is gonna fit every single stereotype. So I guess he's neckbeard adjacent. Actually, I semi-take that back because of the whole anime posters and immediately putting on anime when she arrived. Just like, it's a little bit more neckbeardy. Alright, it's a very dialogue-heavy neckbeard story, so just be prepared. Do you work with the female? Is the title. Hi, Neckbeard Stories. I got one for you today. This story is from around 3 years ago when I was the store manager at a gas station. It involves 3 people. OP, that's me, 30-ish male. Sarah, a young lady, also 30-ish if I recall, working the cash register. Potterbeard, the beard in question. So this day, I'm not gonna do that voice for the rest of the story, I'm sorry, for some reason the high neckbeard stories just got me into that. So this day turned out much like any day working at a gas station. That is to say, soul-sucking and tedious. Sarah was running the register while I was in the office filling out paperwork. I am vaguely aware that Sarah is having a conversation with some guy, but it doesn't seem out of the ordinary, so I don't pay much attention. A few minutes later, the store phone rings and I answer. Thank you for calling Crappy's corporate gas station. This is OP. How may I help you today? On the other end is Potterbeard. Is this the location of Crappy's corporate gas station? Yes, it is. How may I help you? Do you work with the female? I shit you not, that is exactly what he said. He even put the exact emphasis on the word female that you would have expected a neckbeard to. We have several female employees at this location. Can you be more specific? Oh, I was just in your store a few minutes ago. I was talking about that redhead girl working the register. I understand. Was there an issue? Oh, no issue. I just wanted to ask if you could give her my phone number. This confuses me. If he was just here, why didn't he just give her his number then? Also, I knew Sarah was in a committed relationship with a guy named Corey. I asked him if he identified as Feldman or Haim. He said Feldman, which is the correct answer. Bro, why are we getting details about this anyway? It's fine. May I ask what this is in regards to? Friendship? Okay, sure. What's your number? PB gives me his number and then adds, tell her it's the guy whose Harry Potter scarf she complimented. So I take the number out to Sarah and she says she barely spoke to the guy and had no idea why he thought she would have wanted his number. She threw the number in the trash and as far as I know, he never came back to the store. Certainly not the worst story on here, but it was certainly odd in the moment. The fact that he referred to her as the female is what will always stick with me the most. I actually like this story because it's realistic, you know, it's not crazy and over the top to compete with the other, you know, over the top crazy stories on the subreddit. It's just, it feels like something that could have happened. And just a piece of advice to anybody that would, try and flirt with somebody in public, you gotta execute on the spot. Don't wait for some later opportunity or call back a restaurant or fucking whatever gas station or something. Just to go for the number on the spot. If they reject you, maybe just don't go back to that gas station or whatever, and you're good, My neckbeard classmate once handed me a gamer test. This happened some years ago, but I figured out it would be a nice post on here. Also, my main language isn't English. It started when I was in high school. 15 female at the time, recently was new at my high school, so I had to do that thing where you go to the front and say your name to the whole class. After that, I went to my seat and some dude approached me, nothing weird at all, he seemed normal. "Hey, do you like The Legend of Zelda?" he asked, referring to my backpack, which had The Legend of Zelda design. I love Zelda. I played the saga since I was a child, and at the moment I was excited to meet another person who shares that interest, so I agreed, and he just replied something similar to, "Cool, cool." After the class went on, but in the middle of it, he passed me a note with the title Real Gamer Girl Test, a paper full of handwritten questions about Zelda, Metroid, and other Nintendo games. The questions weren't even that hard, but yeah, the gatekeep is strong with this one. I actually handed it back to him, answered correctly of course, but never talked again with that dude. That kind of energy is just not my type. This is so insane. I really want this to be real, and I'm also wondering, did he write out the test in that class while, they were learning or whatever, and then handed it to her at the end, or has he just been carrying around a handwritten Real Gamer Girl test for months and months and maybe even years, just waiting to find a gamer girl that he can test? So yeah, my band's EP is out. I do lead vocals and guitar on the first 2 tracks, then bass on the second 2 tracks with some backing vocals, and then the last track I do lead guitar and some screams and sings and stuff. So check it out if you're interested. It's available everywhere. You can find it here on YouTube if you want. Also, I've been gone for a while. There's a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, and I wish I could have come back with some sick, dope video, but it's just gonna be a regular video. I just want to get back into the hang of things, swinging it, doing it. We're drinking water. We're staying hydrated. We're gonna make it through all of this shit. I hope everybody's doing well, skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a lot of water as previously mentioned, and I'll see you super soon. Peace out, Cub Scouts.